The T-54 is a Soviet Tier 9 medium tank. The first prototype was constructed at the end of 1944. After successful trials in 1945 to 1947, the T-54 mod from 1947 was adopted for service. 713 vehicles were constructed before the production was phased out. In 1949, production of a new variant was launched. In World of Tanks, the T-54 leads to T-62A and the Object 140. It is a great tank, but let's see what it can do in some gameplay. Hello guys and welcome back to World of Tanks Ace Tanker series. As you can see, today we'll be driving the Russian Tier 9 medium tank, that's the T-54. And driving the T-54 is Mr. Zlix. As you can see, the map is Redshire and Mr. Zlix is going to be fighting on the standard battle mode. So we are going to see some medium action, where usually all the mediums go. That's the, let's say, middle of this ridgeline, in between the two ridgelines to E4 position, and probably maybe some flanking from that side. As you can see, it's a Tier 9 matchup with only a couple of Tier 9s and the rest are Tier 8 and 7. So Mr. Zlix is taking a nice position here at the beginning to snipe on the enemy tanks that usually like to pop up on the G4 and G5 position, and they are also sniping from that position toward this position where Mr. Zlix is. So usually what happens on this map, you are going to see a little brawl from the start of the match from the two sides of the hill, and after that we are going to see how this game progresses and will the mediums from one side or another push towards the friendly or the enemy caps. So you can see that the heavy tanks are advancing on the zero line. That's usually where the heavy tanks go, but you can see that the medium tanks on the enemy team are going there as well. And now this is something that I was talking about. You can see the enemy tanks popping up on this position on G4, and this is something that you should be careful about when you are going to fight off on this map. Try and be sniping on this position and try and put shots on the medium tanks that are popping up, and don't just lose your HP like that T-54 mod 1 that went in too far and couldn't really stand off to fight against all of these tanks. Now I was going to talk about the matchup and the tank just a little bit. You can see that the team is losing heavily, 5 tanks already down, and we are going to see if they can all survive this engagement. The artillery pulls back one and it is a really nice tank that is killed. It's a Jag Panther 2. Now the positioning of Mr. Zlix is pretty nice here, but he needs to be careful. There are 2 artilleries on the enemy team and he is a top tier tank in his medium, so he can expect to get shot by artillery quite easily here, so he has to be really careful. The team pulls back one another tank here, and Mr. Zlix is in a great position to use the turret on this tank to fight off with the enemies. So you can see that there are 4 enemies in front of him. He's in a really nice position. He caught them in a crossfire from the back, and he is able to push shot after shot after shot into the medium tanks that are here. Now he is harassing this Super Pershing, which is looking towards the Su-152, but the Su-152 fails unfortunately here and Mr. Zlix is left alone. But it's a Tier 8 premium tank destroyer. As you can see, pretty hard to penetrate with the standard shells on the T-54, and he cannot really use heat shells here because he is not going to go through the armor of the Super Pershing. Now the artillery scores another great hit here, kills the Super Pershing, and this side looks like it's clean. But unfortunately the heavy tanks have fell on the other side, and with the help of the medium, the heavy tanks on the opposing team were able to push through. Now Mr. Zlix scores his 3rd kill. You can see that only 3 tanks in his entire team had some clear kills and that they are doing something in this matchup. Nice bounce here on the FV-4202. but he still needs to be careful here. He's in open and the artillery is not shooting at him. He's lucky there, just for the moment. So yeah, the game is not progressing as they would like. They have two tank destroyers that are trying to defend from the position on the C4. The problem with the positioning on the C4 of those tank destroyers is if any scouts go to D7 from the heavy line, they are going to be spotted and they are going to be shot at. So yeah, not a lot of cover on those positions. Only a couple of bushes, but there are some of the bushes that you can expect them to be located in. Now we can see that Mr. Zlix is playing really nicely here. He is in a position to spot on the FV and to shoot on the medium tanks and the heavy tanks that are going to try and cross over the small ridgeline here. Now you can see that he spots the Tier 9 WZ and he allows the shots from the tank destroyers to come in and to shoot on the Panther and the WZ. The WZ has been playing pretty carefully here. He went back immediately after he got spotted, and he is still in a good position to well fight off for the Mr. Zlix if he wants to, but he gives him his backside. Actually, he really didn't spot him here. Nice use of mechanics to shoot through the bushes and not to get spotted by the WZ-1114. I honestly thought he is going to spot him from that position where he is, but he could not. It looks like the vegetation here is pretty nice and that he has some nice cover. But this shot will have him spotted, yeah. Got spotted, got shot once. Unfortunately, he doesn't roll enough to kill the WZ and he gets shot pretty hard here by the WZ. Oh, 2 another shots. This was a bad move by Mr. Zlix to go forward like that while the enemy tanks were shooting at him. Now they were losing a couple of tanks, they were a couple of tanks behind, and now they're in a nice position to, well, only have to kill the artillery and finish off the medium and the heavy tank. Wow, the artillery got his 4th kill on the FE-4202, and that's a really nice gameplay by the artillery player. He shot the medium tank just as he was behind that house, and that is some nice shooting. And Mr. Zlix is in a great position to spot on the enemy artillery. He spots the GV Tiger, he has a shot on the GV Tiger, goes for the blind shot. Really nice here to shoot him and to kill him. Now only thing that's left to do here is to find the last artillery and find the T-34 and kill him. He has the support of the 2 friendly artilleries. Finds that's the M12, but he doesn't know where the T-34 is, so he has to be careful. One shot from the T-34 could mean the end of him, because he is in for a one shot on the T-34, probably about 50% if the T-34 kills him from one shot or not. So yeah, he had the spot on that M12. I am guessing that the artillery will be aiming at the position, and there's the T-34. Spots the T-34, gets shot. Fortunately, the T-34 low rolls, and a snapshot here on the T-34. Really unfortunate not to penetrate and kill him. So his reload is faster than the T-34. He had 2 shots there to finish him off, but he wasn't able to do it. He hit the cupola, which is very well armored. Now a nice shot on the M12. M12 shoots on the move, and he got taken out by the Scorpion. That's a GG, and let's take a look at the post-game stats. As you can see here, Mr. Zlix had a really nice game. He got a couple of medals like Hand of God, Spotter, Bruiser, Duelist, Fighter, Fire for Effect, High Caliber, and of course the Master Badge Ace Tanker. On the team score sheet we can see that he was able to score 1351 experience, 5 kills and 5000 damage. Also important to notice is that the artillery had 5 kills and 3000 damage. Very good gameplay by the artillery player. On the detailed report you can see that he fired 25 shots, of which 21 hit the target and 18 penetrated, and with the premium account he was able to score 33,000 credits. I'm just going to take a small step back and take a look at what we saw in this gameplay. Now, we saw an excellent gameplay by the T-54 medium. Even though he was left alone against a couple of tanks on one side, he was able to finish them off one by one and allow the artillery to have great shots and finish the rest of the enemy tanks. And when the other flank fell from the heavies, he was able to pull back to a nice position from which he was able to spot on the enemy tanks and to shoot them in the side from a nice concealed position. And even though they were losing 5 tanks to 0 at the beginning of the map, they were able to bounce back and to win this one. As always guys, if you liked the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you have some comments, you can leave it in the comment section down below. And if you are wondering what to watch next, you can see it in the top right corner. I believe it's a previous replay from the T-26 Super Pershing. At the end, don't forget to subscribe, and as always, I hope you guys like this one, and I'll see you in the next one.